What? Huh? What? You guys again? You guys again? You back again? Why would you come back again, huh? Aren't you tired of listening to this old bird, huh? Well, good. I'm glad to have you back. Happy times to you. All that other stuff. Let's get right down to brass tacks. Because I know it's like, you know what I mean? Time to get to brass tacks. I just know. You know what I'm saying? What? Look at this tempo, man. Oh, man, he's talking about tempo this week. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Video about, you know what I mean? Something else, right? Go on to the next thing in your feed. Hey, I want you guys to stay with me just for a while. Let's share it. Now, this is one of those situations in life where I was doing a video about tempo a while ago. I was doing like 2 or 3 videos in a row about tempo, maybe. I was doing videos all month about tempo. I had tempo month. Tempo times, man. I was tempoed out. And I did a video. I had like a tempo amp in there, 2 tempo guitars, like a tempo birthday cake. I had adopted a cat named Tempo. He got hit by a car named Tempo. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? Yo no tengo más tiempo para hablar de tempo. Right? So, I was at the flea market the very next day after that video debuted, right? I look at the table. First thing I see is this tempo for $5. What? $5. I looked at it. I said, ooh. It has, you know what I'm saying, the original tuners, Japanese. It's got this, you know what I mean, beautiful, beautiful water slide. You know what I mean. It's definitely early '60s, you know, mid '60s, kind of mid '65, maybe. It's got tempo tuners in beautiful condition. The early ones, I love those. Love those. So I was excited. I was very excited, and I was like, You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with it? It's missing the pick guard. Got no cracks that I can see. All the paint's been sort of scratched off that used to like be around here. The phony painted binding. It's missing a little, you know what I'm saying, bridge piece. Other than that, you know what I mean? This is a fine instrument for $5. I says, I'll put it away till the next time. You know what I mean? I have nothing to talk about. And many next times went by. And just this weekend, I was like cleaning out some stuff, and I found this guitar at the bottom of a pile of guitars. I was, ooh, what's that? Oh, it's that tempo that I put away, that $5 tempo, man. Back in the Subway days, you'd be able to get sandwich for $5 foot long. Now it's like $10 foot long, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's stop clowning around. Let's just make it short and sweet. I'll see you on the side with this beautiful instrument. There's just some schmutz on it, some dirt on it, some discoloration. But, yeah, I mean, structurally, it's a beaut. It's a beaut. We're going to fabricate a pick guard. We're going to figure out what kind of, you know what I mean, bridge piece was on it. And we're going to put it on there. And we're going to be happy together. Right? Together forever. Peace be with you. I'll see you on the slab. And 1, 2, 3. So, this is the coolest part about it. Looks to be factory. Like a brass. One of them, you know what I mean? Japanese things. This is like an early Japanese tempo. You know what I'm saying? That's like a real humdinger, as they call them. Humdinger. Look at those beautiful slotted screws in the gears and the, you know, early tempo gears. Nice Japan imprintation. I really love tempos. I've done so many episodes about it. I'm sure you know that by now. They're made by Araya. You know what I'm saying? Araya Carey. That's Jim Carrey's father. Right? Hey. So we got the pick guard has been unscrewed, removed. Don't have it. We're going to have to make one. I like to make one. You know what I mean? We'll find a pick guard that sort of matches that. Use it as a pattern. See if they're, you know, white or black on the internet. I haven't really done my studying. Looks like a little line was erased from around here. Looks like a biplane passing outside. It's the Wright brothers. The wrong brothers, right? That's enough little jokes. I got a little bridge, an adjustable bridge from like the 60s, 70s. You know what I mean? We'll put that on there. You know what I'm saying? Unless we have one in the drawer that matches exactly a photograph we can find. We'll have to do some research, man. And once again, I'm not really too prepared. But I want to see in the laboratory. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This has been repainted in like a pretty nice way. It's done very well. It looks like there was some kind of like, you know what I mean, stripping. You know what I mean? Looks like this might have been like maybe a brown sunburst model, and they stripped the front off of it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where the darkness was bled in. And they refinished it. And it looks nice. Looks like he did an okay job. So we're not gonna, you know what I mean, sunburst it again. We're just gonna clean up the little, refine it a little bit. It's got real inlays here. No zero fret, which is good. Nice healthy nut. My mom's first guitar is a tempo, man. Hey, hey, hey. Talk about my mom like that, alright? So I'm gonna see in the laboratory. We're gonna, you know what I mean, get this guy up to, you know, the speed. We're gonna play it. We're gonna dance around. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can do. Alright? See you in the laboratory. The laboratory is here, and you're welcome back to it. I kind of like this guitar because it's like a contemporary refin, where they're trying to make it look like my mother's tempo guitar, trying to make it look like a spruce top. You can see it where the sunburst sound hole had a little bit of paint left. You actually like painted over it. You can see colored shellac, shellac on the fretboard. You know what I mean? Shellac everywhere, on everything. You know what I mean? And this, I think I don't know what he did. He did some kind of like refin on there. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely been oversprayed. It's impressive for, like, you know what I mean, a kid out in the garage. And I like this little thing here. This little, you know what I mean, universal hanger, man. I'll break it in front of everybody. They just got a little wedge. You can hang it up, man. Hang up your act, bro. So the first thing we're going to preoccupy ourselves with is the missing pick guard. Even though he probably like, no, I didn't want a pick guard, man. Can't you see my art? So I have this old tempo here. I've done an episode about it. You can check out below. Look below, man. This whole episode about this mystery tempo. I think it might be one of the first Koreans. I don't know. Might not. Could just be a transitionary one between two logos. The logo's very similar, right? Anyway, that's got what we need. A pick guard to trace. Oh, don't fall over, man. I just want to touch you. Right? And we can study these screws too, so I very carefully remove that pick guard from that cherished, hallowed instrument so we can make a pattern. There's a pattern of abuse. I don't know if the holes line up, but we'll check that when it's been removed, and I'll let you know. Right? You know it all. See you in a moment. All right, people. So here we are. I got the pick guard off. This pick guard looks like it was just painted. Like it was painted, like it looked like it was clear plastic. At one point, it was just painted in the late 60s. So I got a piece of tracing paper here. This is good so we can actually trace the holes. These 3 holes look like they actually line up on top for the most part, but these do not. So we're going to want to make a new pattern. So we're going to take it. We're going to put it right in the middle here because I want you guys to see. Got a mechanical pencil so we go real close. If I wasn't doing this for my internet friends, I'd be like all the way to the bottom of the paper to conserve paper, but it's all centered and everything. There we go. So we're going to cut that out very carefully. I'll see you over by the guitar. Bring the guitar in. I got it right where I want it. So I'm going to mark off the holes very carefully. You know what I'm saying? It's right exactly where I want it. And that's that. That's the pattern, folks. See the whole idea about tracing paper, right? Okay, Chewy. Let's get back to the Falcon. All right, so we got it ready to go now. You know, that's a great thing. So what are we going to make it out of? A couple months ago, had an Amazon order cooking. And I had about $20 worth of stuff. I needed $5 extra just to make my fare. I started looking for things. You know what I mean? I could tack on the order so I get the free shipping. And I got this. And I was like, kind of like, what is this? And it has adhesive on the back. I was like, ooh, this is for pick guards, for acoustic guitars, right? Cool. But I was upset that it kind of had this little scratch on there. I was like, that's kind of bullshit, man. It upset me. So I put it away. I kind of like, and then the back of, back folds of my mind, I'm not going to use this, 3M stuff. But I'm going to try to use up that area where the hole is, man. So I'm going to try to fit it right here, because you're going to want it with a pick guard. Keep the longest area intact, right? Got myself some old rubber cement, right? Old-fashioned rubber cement, man. Craft Bond. I'm surprised they still call it rubber cement. You know what I mean? They should probably call it cement of a rub nature. You know what I mean? Natured rub. What is this guy talking about? The good thing about this is I can cut this with this pair of scissors, as opposed to having to go over the scroll saw with a piece of pickguard material. That's about the right thickness, you know what I'm saying? It's about the correct. See, look, here's the original. And it's about the same, you know what I'm saying? Almost the same exact thickness, right? And that makes me a happy camper, right? A happy camper. So let's get that cut out. And I'll see you then. So we got it all cut out. One of these is nice to have, even though you can't really see it. It's all coming off now, man. Take a little sanding block where to go around the sides, just to make it really like, you know what I mean, factory. You know what I'm saying? Trick it out. See you in a moment. After that's done. Alright, so now we're going to carefully drill these holes out. There'll be some wood behind there. And we'll drill the holes out. And we'll peel this thing off. Right? I'll see you then. Right? And there they are. One is a remake, one's an original. They're about the same looking, you know what I mean? This is the remake. We're not even going to put it on there with that adhesive. We're just going to know that we have it. Be happy. Let's talk about screws, man. Here are the original screws that we pulled out of the one. Right, and this is a set I found in the drawer. Very small, you know what I mean? I'm just looking for a head that's about the same size. I'd say it's about the same size. The screw is about the same size. One's looks like a sheet metal screw, and one is a wood screw. It's that collar, but you know what I'm saying? They're gonna look about the same. All right, so let's screw them on now. Just look at that. Beautiful. Just like Ma, right? So we got the hard part out of the way. Let's clean it up. First, we're gonna put some Dollar Tree furniture polish all over it, front, back, side to side, everywhere we can. Get all the slop off of it. And then we're going to wax it with some of this paste wax. Not great wax, but I mean, it's what we got, right? It's what we're going to use. And we might as well just take a piece of steel wool and go over this. Or put a piece of wax paper in there. So we're going to scratch up the finish. All right. Can we do with all three things? Can I trust you? Well, let's do them. And I'll come right back at you. Figure you guys are old enough. I don't have to take, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do this. No, I do three things. Right? 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, 2, 3, go. All sheeny shandy down. All spiffy. I'll tell you one thing about this instrument, though, man. This instrument is definitely very sticky. I remember a friend told me, he's like, oh, yeah, back starting in the 40s to present day, the major paint companies, especially with can and spray paint, they put special, like, non-hardeners in their paint. And the paint never truly cures out, never dries. So you can buff out scratches, things like that, so it doesn't harden in the can, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, but this is definitely a good argument for that. Because it was very sticky. Felt like it hadn't fully cured, and this is probably refinished 50, 60 years ago, right? In the early 60s, right? So let's talk about the obvious, man. Now, originally, it had what we call the popsicle stick bridge. Now, the popsicle stick bridge, I don't have any right in the drawer right now. I usually do have one or two of them around. Very common. Many different instruments made by Araya, which this one apparently is made by. Late 60s. You know what I'm saying? Don't have it. It could have just been like a wooden bridge too, you know what I mean, without the popsicle stick, insert. Not very good, but the step that I'm about to take is going to eliminate any kind of fretwork we're going to put an adjustable bridge in there. Adjustable bridge, what are you guys talking about? Well, my mom had the same, very similar instrument. And here's some stills here from an old Guitkit episode. I was talking about it. This is my mom's instrument. I put this like a 60s sort of repro. I'm sorry, my phone's broken. This one's a little better, I think. It's like an adjustable bridge. And then I got off Reverb. It was like $8. You know what I mean? It was like almost exactly like those originals. This is, I don't know, 2017, 2016, something like that, when I did that. So, I don't know, 2020 rolls around, I needed another one of those, you know what I mean? It was just like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it cost like, whatever guitar I was going to put it on there, it's probably for you guys, probably I paid $10 for, you know what I mean? And the part, plus shipping was repro part, well, you get it up to like $15, $16 back then. You know what I'm saying? It's not something I wanted to have to deal with. So I looked online forever and ever, and I found a website for, I think it was Robbie's Music or Newark Musical Supply, something like that. It was actually in Newark. It was right outside of Newark, and they had one little branch out up in like the Watchung, Warren County area, up in the mountains there. And I saw them on the website, a new old stock from the 60s, $2, like $2. Like, that's incredible, you know what I'm saying? Incredible. I put 6 of them, 7 of them in my cart, you know what I'm saying, and the, checkout thing, and I went to, shipping. Shipping was like $26. I was like, what? $26, you know what I mean? There's no way to sort of, get it down. I was like, it says Federal Express or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck, man? I don't want to pay that much money for shipping. That's like ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So I saw an option that says pick up in store. You know what I'm saying? Free. And this was back during 2020, pandemic. Gasoline costs at the time like $2.12 a gallon. So I had nothing to do with working. You know what I'm saying? This is in the height of the pandemic, the craziness of the pandemic, like April of 2020, something like that. You know what I mean? I'll take a ride up there. You know what I mean? I got some masks. And I get up there, and the whole place is like all this saran wrap on everything. People like work there were coated in saran wrap with like little holes, you know what I mean? Band-Aids are breathing out, some kind of weird ass shit. And like, you know what I mean? Approached like the saran wrap barrier, like they're like, Bobby? I was like, yeah, that's me. Here you go. And then he gave me a handful of them, and I ran away. I know, get out. And there's a guy standing there with a hose, wrapped saran wrap. Get the fuck out. Germs. You know what I mean? I don't know. I was treated like company there. I got a whole bunch of them. I don't know how many left. Probably these are old stock. You can tell because it's got the slotted screw. We're just gonna find the actual intonation mark, string it up. I want to put some rainbows on here. Rainbows, I always feel, have like a real beautiful sort of, you know what I'm saying, a distinctive, crispy sound, man. Like a troubadour kind of guitar. And it seems like one of them kind of instruments. It's never gonna be put back to like stock, so we might as well make it sound as good as possible. Right? That's my story for today. That's one to grow on, man. I'll see you at the glamour shots, man. Where everything's like a rainbow. Peace be with you. There it is, man. Early 60s, mid 60s, possibly. Tempo, made in Japan. Got this new bridge, adjustable bridge. We got it sounding as good as we could possibly get it. These rainbow strings make it sound like a troubadour's guitar, like something Donovan will put on his guitar when he went around Europe. Do you have any hash to sell for me and Gypsy Dave? All right. It's real bright sounding. Everything's really nice on it. Tuners look good. It's got this beautiful sort of dark brown back. You can see how the overspray has happened on the heel here from that terrible kind of, you know what I mean? Before I reactivated the paint by rubbing on it, you know what I mean? This thing was like perfect, but then I got the paint warm again, and it's all like little bit too gooey for my taste, right? But it's, you know what I mean? Once we get it cooled off and it sits in, you know what I mean, a pile for a good 3 years, it'll be, you know, ready to play again. You know what I'm saying? Ready to play again. Now this bridge, kind of like an acquired taste. You could cut little grooves in it with a file to keep your strings in place from moving around. But this is operating like the Patillo principle of, like, you know what I mean, a sharp, jagged pyramid line gives you the best intonation kind of idea. It's probably not the best place for it, but I mean, I don't mind it, you know what I mean? It's all right. It gives it a real sharp, kind of crisp tone. I'm not going to be thrashing on this fucking thing. If you were thrashing on it, moving those strings around, it might not be that cool, man. Right? So, reanimated. No structural problems really here. Got a nice brass end piece. Right? A nice strap button made out of brass, man. Other than that, you know what I mean, it looks like it's pretty much intact. It's been oversprayed, as I've said several times. It's got some nice tuners. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Reanimated, reinvigorated, rehabilitated, and ready 1,000%, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Right? Right? Now. Yes. The tempo rides again. The tempo rides again, people. And we go with the tide. Hey. It's not that great of an instrument. And it's very, very sticky. Very, very annoyingly sticky, man. You have to break in these new rainbow strings. For some reason I find that the rainbow strings take a couple days to break in longer than the other strings. You know what I'm saying? They're just a little bit more needy, you know what I mean? They need a little bit more stretching time. I literally tune this up, I put it down, turn on my camera. It already needs a little bit of TLC, you know what I mean? Not a great instrument, folks. Not a great instrument. So last week, we kind of talked a little bit about Buddy Holly, and I thought that Tommy Rowe was Buddy Holly. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying? They sounded like to this day. Still confused me on the radio. I always thought that in the beginning that Shawn Mendes, every great song of Shawn Mendes is actually Ed Sheeran. I was like, this is one of Ed Sheeran's good songs. And my daughter would be like, that's Shawn Mendes. And I'm like, what? But now I know the difference. And I can say I like Shawn Mendes better than Ed Sheeran. So anyway, we talk about the fakers, man. Let's talk about the real deal, man. After Buddy Holly died, like, the record company actually like went through all his tapes, and they had like 2 different producers and 2 different sides, you know, of the country, like overdub like backings on some of these recordings. And some of the backings actually, you know what I mean, became parts of like the, you know, people covered it, you know what I mean? They took all the new ones. The Beatles covered this particular song. I think Linda Ronstadt did, and Marshall Crenshaw, a couple other people too. Crying, waiting, hoping that you come back. You're the one I love, and I think about you all the time. But I'm baby crying, waiting, hoping that you come back. You're the one I love, and I think about you all the time. I'm not really that good. Like I said, I'm kind of like, kind of just like a fixer. But I can jam with the best of them. Yeah. Hey, man, next week, we're actually do like a tempo-related guitar. Not really a tempo, but something that's related to a related tempo, man. Might even have nothing to do with it, man. But peace be with you until then. If there is a then, there might be. There probably is. As I said, there's going to be one.